All right, well, there are two cases, but the one that we're going to be dealing with primarily 25 CR 711, the state of Texas versus Wesley Davis. This is the offense, third degree felony, deadly conduct. And Mr. Dusler is
All right, folks, we're jumping straight into a case that's got all the drama and tension you could imagine. Wesley Davis is here today, having pled guilty to the deadly conduct of firing a weapon into someone's home. But here's the kicker. He's a 21-year-old with no criminal history, and now he's facing a possible prison sentence. The stakes are high. On the table is a potential 2 to 7 year prison term, but there's also the possibility of deferred probation. The courtroom is about to decide if Davis can turn things around or if he'll pay the price for his reckless actions. But hold up, things are about to get more complicated. Stay tuned to find out how this plays out.
your attorney. Earlier, and you are Wesley Davis, right? Earlier, you pleaded guilty to this deadly conduct discharge of a firearm. The agreement is whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 7 years imprisonment. So what we have here is really two options, no less than 2 nor more than 7 years confinement in prison, or it looks like deferred or unadjudicated probation could be a an option. Is regular probation an option? It says deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm. So a firearm was used in the commission of this offense. I guess regular probation is
No,
not
sir, I think it's deferred.
just deferred and flat time.
He and I have discussed this and,
How'd that go?
yeah, well, it went pretty well. He recognizes that, this was just something that was really foolish. You just don't go around firing guns, indiscriminately, whether it's at people or houses or just up in the air. You just don't do that.
Now let's take a moment to digest what's going on here. Davis is a young guy with no criminal history, and this is his first serious offense. But here's the thing, firing 20 rounds into someone's home at 3:30 a.m. is no small matter. The defense is asking for deferred adjudication, which means they want to give him a second chance without a conviction on his record. But here's the burning question. Can someone who shoots randomly into a house, especially with an assault weapon, really be trusted to change? How much responsibility should someone take for an impulsive act like this, especially when they have just recovered from a gunshot wound themselves? Should we give them a shot at probation, or is this just too dangerous to overlook? Let us know in the comments what you think. Second chances or prison time?
Do that kind of thing. He tells me that he realizes that this was a terrible, stupid, foolish mistake on his part. What's going for him is he's 21 years of age and he has no criminal history. To my knowledge, a felony or a misdemeanor. And basically, it's just, this offense, which we feel like that if he's given the chance on deferred adjudication, he can successfully complete that and hopefully, importantly, keep him from ever having a criminal conviction. And I've talked to him about that. He feels like that he could successfully complete it. Am I correct? Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. I'm a little fuzzy about this. What was the building that was shot at on the drive-by here? Did it have anything to do with Lamar University?
No, sir. I think
Well,
it's
because
Here comes the big reveal. The judge is starting to probe deeper into the details of the crime. A drive-by shooting with an assault rifle, 20 rounds fired at a private residence. And to make it even more chilling, this all took place in the middle of the night. Thankfully, no one was hit, but think about the sheer danger of what could have happened. This was no accident. It was reckless retaliation. The judge is starting to get visibly upset as he connects the dots, asking questions about the traumatic incident. How do we justify someone randomly firing a weapon, even if they were under emotional distress? What does it say about our justice system when the severity of the crime is compared to the emotional state of the defendant? Is this an emotional breakdown or a deliberate choice to retaliate?
I believe it was a private residence, Your Honor.
In the vicinity of one.
Look at, okay. 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph, last sentence. Lamar University Police Department cameras observed the vehicle to drop off an individual to the dormitory and exit the property. Okay, that must be located close by.
I think that's
But
correct.
it was a residence that was shot at, correct?
Yes.
Everybody, and then does everybody agree 19.223 caliber shell casings were recovered on the roadway? Is everybody saying that, is this what everybody believes, that 19 assault weapon bullets were fired at somebody's home in a drive-by shooting? Is that about
That's
the
that's
substance of
police
this?
version.
At 3:38 in the morning? Nice. All right, the agreement here is.
Let's break this down. The defendant claims he was suffering emotionally after being shot, explaining his actions as an impulse driven by trauma. But here's where things get tricky. Is it really about retaliation, or is it a case of bad judgment and a lack of impulse control? The judge doesn't buy the "I was traumatized" defense. He makes it clear, firing 20 rounds into someone's home with an assault weapon isn't justifiable under any emotional distress. And here's a key moment. The judge highlights the potential for 19 people to have been killed, a sobering thought that makes it clear how dangerous this truly was. At what point does personal trauma stop being an excuse for reckless endangerment? What's the line between empathy and accountability here?
Here is whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 7 years in prison. So no less than 2 nor more than 7 years confinement in prison or deferred or unadjudicated probation. Go ahead, Mr. Dusler, on behalf of the defendant.
Well, I think I've already spoken to it. He's asking for deferred. He has no criminal history. He at the time was also recovering from a gunshot wound that he had received a few months earlier, and he said that was weighing heavily on his mind at the time as well. But he has no prior criminal history.
I don't understand what that means, though, weighing heavily on his mind. He was shot, so quite naturally, he fires 20 bullets into somebody's home.
I didn't say quite naturally.
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand what happened.
I don't understand either. I've never been shot.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, you
but I'm
just
sure there's a lot of trauma. associated
randomly
with that.
fired somebody's home, huh? With an assault weapon. I mean, 223. I mean, that's M16. AR-15, I mean, isn't it? It's what we use in Vietnam. 223. All right. Go ahead.
Now we get to the heart of the decision-making process. The state's recommendation is 2 years in prison, but with the possibility of probation. This is where things get tense. The judge acknowledges that Davis is young, has no criminal record, and has been through his own traumatic experiences. But let's not forget what's at stake here: a dangerous act that could have resulted in lives lost. The judge's outburst is telling. "Not on my watch," he says, indicating that this kind of behavior won't be tolerated under any circumstances. It's clear the judge is wrestling with a decision that could either give Davis a second chance or send him to prison. Would you feel the same if you were in the judge's shoes? Does the defendant's age and lack of history matter more than the severity of his actions? This is the turning point in the case: prison or probation.
Thank
Your Honor, while it is correct, he doesn't have any convictions. There are several cases pending, including this one.
Yeah,
The other case,
assumed innocent unless he's found guilty. If he's not found guilty, I'm not going to consider it. Unless y'all want to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
not at this time.
Okay.
We also want to just point to the dangerous nature of shooting that many rounds into someone's home in the middle of the night when presumably people are there asleep. And
Were people there?
I don't believe that contact was made with anyone at the scene.
Well, that begs the question, why not? But anyway,
Judge, I believe I've got related cases on this one. In my memory is that there were 2 people that ended up at separate hospitals from these shootings.
I'm gonna object to that.
I don't see it in the four corners
there's
of this
nothing-
pre-sentence report.
Yeah, I don't mean.
But it was a residence that was shot at, and
Let me check.
bullet holes. Let's see.
That's this one.
Um,
I may have misspoken, Judge. I apologize.
there were rounds found, AR. Okay, blood in multiple rooms. Although that didn't seem fresh.
Your Honor, I don't
Bullet
believe,
hole was in the headboard, came through the window along with a bullet hole in the northwest corner of the room. Lamar University PD cameras observed the vehicle to drop off an individual to the dormitory and exit the property. Okay, as the vehicle was seen.
And now, here we go. The judge delivers his verdict. After a tense back and forth, the judge finds Davis guilty of a third-degree felony and sentences him to 2 years in prison. But this isn't just any sentence, it's a message, a clear one. Reckless behavior like this, no matter the emotional circumstances, won't be excused. The judge's words hit hard. You don't shoot into someone's home 20 times with an assault weapon. It's a powerful reminder that personal trauma doesn't justify putting others at risk. While Davis still has a chance to turn things around, this is a wake-up call for anyone considering dangerous retaliation. The 2-year sentence is a compromise, but the message is clear. Justice must be served.
Was seen exiting the property and traveling west on East Virginia Street. A passenger in the vehicle appeared from the sunroof and began shooting toward the residence at 520 East Virginia Street. This residence has been targeted several times within the last week, where 2 victims were struck by gunfire.
I believe the victims were from a separate incident at the same
Investigators
residence.
were able to positively identify the occupants as driver Jordan Washington and the passenger Wesley Davis. Davis was found to be a victim of an aggravated assault that occurred May 5th of 2025, and the alleged actors lived at this address that was being shot at. Investigators believe that Washington and Davis acted in a conspiracy to retaliate against those at 520 East Virginia Street. And the defendant says, I was going through a lot. I did it because I was suffering from a wound. I was going through depression. So this was 2 days after you were shot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What are you asking for?
State's asking for 2 years, Judge.
How much?
2 years. In the alternative, should the court grant probation, we ask that you follow all of the recommendations set by this PSI.
Anything you want to add?
No, sir, other than, he doesn't have a felony conviction on him. I would recommend, let's give him a shot at deferring, see if he can successfully complete.
Look, I understand the defense on, he doesn't have, felony, conviction. And looks like he's got this case and then a pending case on,
And I think we're probably going to,
but
run that.
let's-
Correct with whatever we
look.
do here.
it's Beaumont, Texas, United States of America. You don't do a drive-by and shoot 20 rounds from an assault weapon into somebody's homes. It's at 3:30 in the morning. My God, I know it happens. Is that what we've come to? Not on my watch. You do that, you're going to pay. You go to prison. You just don't shoot into somebody's home 20 times with an assault weapon. This isn't like what we see on television that we get that sickens our stomach.
Wow, what a case. Wesley Davis, despite his age and lack of a criminal record, will now spend 2 years in prison for firing 20 rounds into a home. This case raises so many questions about justice, accountability, and the balance between personal trauma and public safety. While Davis is given a second chance in the form of a reduced sentence, It's clear that his actions cannot go unpunished. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. Stay tuned for our next intense case.
This is supposed to be humane existence, peace, not in the early in the morning hours, just firing assault weapons into people's homes in this town. That's not on my watch. Isn't gonna walk out. You're just not gonna walk out. State's asking for 2 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
It appears as though something had caused you to be upset, which isn't good. But you had been shot. That's not good. That shouldn't happen. You turn around when you fire 20 rounds of assault weapon into somebody's home. I don't know, were there kids in this home too? Children? I don't know. But people did live in there. And there could have been, if it was packed with people, you could have killed 20 people or 19 people. That's dangerous inherently. It's just not sophisticated thinking, and it's no way to handle the problem. You don't outdo what had been done to you by, if they're going to shoot me, I'll shoot them 20 times. It's terrible. That's no way to handle it. There's a better way to handle your problems. And this, when something like this happens, people pay a serious price, and they ought to be. We could have had 19 deaths here in this one. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this third-degree felony. I'm following the recommendation of the state on this one. You were hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 2 years. A deadly weapon, namely a firearm, was used in the commission of this offense, and that would be affirmatively shown on the judgment of the case.